who'd they play? It was a close game against a pretty big school too. Oh, Arkansas. Arkansas beat Portland State 20-13.
Arkansas. I don't know anything about Portland State.
Well, Portland State's a 1AA team.
Okay.
So they play against like UC Davis and Eastern Washington and those schools like that. Very similar, I believe, in the same as Georgia State and where Appalachian State used to play.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, like the level right below the bowl series.
Speaking of Georgia State, you know what they did this week, right?
Oh yeah, they beat Tennessee.
They beat Tennessee.
That they did.
They're getting. I mean, the SEC took a beating this weekend.
Yeah, they did not have a good showing.
No, and I caught some grief online, even from some friends like Shane Monahan who played pro ball. He's like, yeah, okay, so the SEC is supposed to be the great deal. You know, every week has its weeks, but, you know, it might be a down year for the SEC. Here's what I think, and I think we all wanted a college playoff.
Yeah.
But I think it has created a monster they can't control. Because, and luckily for Georgia, the college playoff started at a time where they were on the upswing. Because Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and Oklahoma have the advantage in recruiting. Absolutely, 100%. Because for the past however many years, they've got a shot at the playoff, and kids want to be on a team that can go to the playoffs. Am I wrong? I mean, like, if you're Tennessee, how do you recruit against Georgia right now? Or Alabama?
You can't.
You know, apart from throwing money at them, which I'm not saying happens, but maybe it happens. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, if you're a 4 or 5 star kid and Alabama is knocking on your door saying, I'm going to give you a full ride, but you might not play till you're a sophomore or a junior because we have a All-American stud at your position right now. It's a senior.
Right.
I might sit there and be like, you know what? Over, Tennessee, I could go to Tennessee and start and then have to play Alabama and get my butt kicked. Yeah. Why would I not sit, play here and there, as a freshman, maybe even redshirt, right?
But and end up with maybe 1, 2, or 3 rings.
Exactly. Well, and not only that, but you're playing with the best. You're going to play against the best, for the best, with the best shot of going to the league.
Yeah.
So you sit for a couple years, big deal, because you wait your time, and all of a sudden you're going to be going in 18th pick overall in the first round, and you're going to sign a $4 million contract.
Yeah. So, I mean, why? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it makes it really tough. The whole thing makes everything really tough for everybody but those 6 teams. I mean, Notre Dame, they got a shot. Maybe they're a little bit in the conversation in recruiting. Who else can you think of?
Well, a lot of the Pac-10 or Pac-12 schools are struggling too.
Yeah.
Almost all of them, every single one of them. I mean, yeah, they're kind of in the mix here and there. They possibly could be, like Oregon, Washington, but for the most part, there's still, USC still has the nostalgia of playing for USC in California.
Yep.
But, they haven't been there. I mean, they're ranked in the mid 40s right now, and it's kind of a sad sight. On top of that, while we're on USC, they lost their starting quarterback last night.
I saw that. That's terrible.
On what was it, like 20 seconds left in the half, and Fresno State brought an all-out blitz, and they didn't pick it up, and they got through, and he was kind of running backwards, and then just took the sack, and his knee bent backwards, and so they're having an MRI, I believe, tomorrow, and then they'll know the results from there. But their backup, who I believe is a freshman as well, he didn't look very good.
He's a freshman too?
Yeah, Keaton Slovis is his name. He went 6 for 8 for 57 yards and threw an interception. So he had a QBR of 21. So that's not a good start.
No, that's not good. That's not good. We'll get my Georgia Bulldogs. I'm a huge fan. They won the game last night, I think 30-6, which is great. But man, I did enjoy watching the change up in the offensive scheme, but they did not overwhelm Vanderbilt at all.
As they should have.
They should have. They should have killed them 56-7.
Right.
Or 6. They didn't give up a touchdown, which I was glad to see that the defense was looking good, because that was the biggest question mark. But I think Jake Fromm didn't even throw for 200 yards, and he's been in the Heisman conversation. So
correct.
They didn't throw the ball down the field at all. It was all short pass stuff.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, they could be sitting there trying to work that out and figure it out, and
right.
And kind of maybe they're more focused on their ground game. I mean, that's their bread and butter, that. But looking at the like you said, the Heisman race, Fromm went 15 for 23 with 156 and 1 touchdown, whereas Tua, he went 26 of 31 for 336 and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Against Duke, and they were shut out in the first quarter. Bama was.
Yeah, that was crazy. I watched a little bit of that. That was nuts. They poured it on like Saban does every time in the second half, but it was kind of nuts watching that in the first half for sure.
Right. And then, while we're on the quarterback Heisman watch sort of, I guess, conversation here.
Yeah.
Number 13, Washington. Their quarterback, Jacob Eason, he went 340. He went 27 for 36. Dude. 349, 7 for 36 with 4 touchdowns. Dude. 349, 7 for 36. And Herbert, he did okay. I know he had they were all short passes, though. Auburn kind of turned it on in the second half defensively. But at one point, I believe he went like 12 for 12, but no big passes. I mean, he only threw for 224 with 1 touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then my dark horse, though, the guy that I like from here, North Texas.
Yeah, how did that go? You brought that up to me the other day.
Yeah, he is the reigning 2-time Conference USA Player of the Year. And, people are going to sleep on him. I mean, he's a small guy. I want to say he's only 5'11".
Yeah.
But he's the North Texas all-time leader in passing yards. Not that they've had a great history.
Right.
I believe he's been a 4-year starter. And they played Abilene Christian. So, again, they didn't start out with a slobber knocker by any means.
Right.
But he ended up going, Mason Fine is his name. He was 28 for 37, 383 with 4 touchdowns.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'd take that every day of the week.
100%.
Hey, so we got some games coming up tonight.
Just one.
I thought we had 2. Oh, one's Monday.
No, yeah.
We got Houston, Oklahoma tonight.
Oklahoma. I think Houston's going to give him a little bit of a run in the first half.
Yeah.
But I think Oklahoma's going to end up tearing it up, and of course you got Jalen Hurts.
I know.
Transferring over. So is he going to keep with the 3 years in a row of a Heisman Trophy winner coming out of OU? I don't know, but we'll see it tonight.
I'm interested in seeing what he does in a completely different offense. Like, can he play out from underneath Saban?
Right.
Can he step up? And you know what? I like the kid. I hate Alabama. I like Saban, and I like this kid. But being a Georgia fan, I've got to hate them. Now that he's at Oklahoma, I hope he does really well. The kid's very down to earth, seems to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm definitely tuning into that. That's 7:30 my time, 6:30 your time. Is that right? Eastern,
Yeah,
or
6:30.
Central.
Yep, 6:30 kickoff. Correct.
So I'll be watching that. I'm definitely taking Oklahoma. The spread is what, 23 points?
Yeah, 23.5. I think they'll cover.
I think they'll cover that too. Oh, speaking of our picks, we didn't do
Yes,
so
sir.
hot.
What?
We didn't do so hot so far.
Ah,
No,
oh, well.
Clemson covered. We took Georgia Tech. They covered by 1 point. Georgia did cover though. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Hang on, I can pull them up. Do you
See,
remember?
I don't like the spread. Did I take Nevada? I think I took Nevada to cover, didn't I?
I think you did. I'll tell you what. Start next week. We're just picking straight up.
Yeah, I
We're just
don't like
picking
the
straight
spread.
up. I wanted to do against the spread this week because there were so many mismatches. But I think let's just go straight up. We really need to have a competition for this though.
Mm-hmm.
We need to figure out. We need some Pro Sports Talk stickers, and maybe if you beat us, we'll send you a sticker,
There you go.
something like that. If you guys would be interested in that, let us know. Man, I'm trying to remember. Let me pull this up real quick. The
Oh, by the way, before, because I think we talked about UCLA, Clemson, or UCLA and Cincinnati.
yeah, you did.
Cincinnati had I think they were like, what were they, like 11-2 last year?
I didn't know they were that good. Really?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I watched that game. What was it, Friday? No, Saturday.
Okay.
And man, UCLA they got I believe he's a freshman, their quarterback. He was touted as the number 1 rated dual threat quarterback coming out of high school.
Okay.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So he's a sophomore out of Vegas. UCLA was on the doorstep
Okay.
in the first quarter, and he fumbled the ball while he was running. Like, it just slipped right out of his hand.
Mm,
And Cincinnati recovered. I mean, this is like in the first quarter, right?
right.
And so Cincinnati, of course, went down, scored. So UCLA is driving again. And I want to say it's in the third quarter. And same thing, he was scrambling around or was moving around a little bit, and he went to throw it, and the ball slipped right out of his hand, and Cincinnati picked it up. So he had 2 fumbles
Yeah.
on his own, and then he threw 2 picks as well. His QBR ended up being a 5.9. He was 8 for 26 for 156 yards.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he eliminates those 2 fumbles, it could have been a whole different story. You know, they lost by 10.
Right.
So maybe they get a touchdown, that first drive, it changes the momentum, and then they get a field goal on that drive, and they end up tying it, go into overtime.
Right.
But yeah, I was calling them, I'm sure you saw it, I was calling them the mess in Westwood. Because being a grown up, being a USC fan, you don't like, it's like you guys not liking Alabama. We don't like we don't like UCLA.
Right.
But yeah, and Chip Kelly's the head coach, so I mean, it's that's just such a weird thing going on at UCLA, and I don't know what it is, other than the fact that they're kind of second fiddle still to USC.
Right.
So they don't get the recruiting prowess as they should, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that conference needs to pick itself up because, and like I said, I think it goes back to the college football playoff. I think if they had been in the conversation when it started, they would probably still be there now, and their recruiting would be higher. I think the playoff needs to go to 16 teams. That way we spread the wealth, and the recruiting can be spread out a little bit more. I really do.
Yeah, yes, and I agree with that. And it's funny you bring that up because I've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sit there and think about, well, what about the bowl games? What about this? And and things like that. Well, if you're one of the top 2 teams,
Right.
or top 4 teams at this point, you don't play for a month.
Yeah,
So,
right.
because they have finals and everything else, which I find hilarious because guess when the baseball playoffs or baseball regionals happen?
Yeah, about the same time.
During finals.
Yeah.
It's spring finals, but
Yep.
like it's, you know what I mean? So, but baseball is always second fiddle to football, but so that's always been kind of the reason why they start the bowl games later is because most of the schools have finals, and then that way, the finals don't get in the way of the games and so on and so forth.
Right.
So, but you can take, I mean, let's be honest. Let's trim the fat of the bowl games that there are, because in the last couple of years, there's been some teams that are 5-7, 6-6 that are getting into bowl games that really shouldn't be in them.
I agree.
But because they have 30 bowl games, you got to find teams to get in there and to play. So the quality is very watered down.
Yep.
So why not make teams actually earn it and go back to that?
Well,
and then you use, go ahead.
You know what the answer is, right?
Money.
Money. Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
But how much money would the NCAA generate if you had a round of 8, right? So then you designate these, the Cactus Bowl, the Outback Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, all these bowls
will be part of the playoff.
Right, would be part of the playoff, right? So, and then that would be, week, I don't know, the week before Christmas, right?
Right.
And so you have those 8 matchups. Those filter down to the 4, and then that's the week of, like in between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Right. And then you can still have the Rose Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl still on New Year's Day.
Right.
And still rotate all those big dogs, right, for the quarterfinals, so to speak. And then you have the semis, and then you have the finals.
Do you do away with the bowl games for non-playoff teams? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's so if we have 16 teams, right? I mean, how many conferences do we have?
Shoot, there's a bunch.
Yeah, let me take a look real quick.
You can go to Bleacher Report and check it out.
So let's say we take obviously the Power 5, right? So you got the Pac-12, the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC. You take each champion out of those 5.
Right.
Then you rank those. You rank them. Those are the 1 through 5, right there.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think you got to win the championship to go to the playoff. Or the automatic bid has to be a conference championship. And then there are some at-large invites after that. Because if Georgia's ranked number 2 and Alabama's number 1, and Georgia loses to Alabama by 1 point, Georgia should get an invite.
Right.
Just like we got wild cards. But I'm right on. I'm on track with what you're talking about.
So there's 10 major conferences,
right,
that are all in the bowl system.
You got the Power 5 and the other 5.
So you have Sun Belt, Mountain West, American, Mid-American, and Conference USA.
Okay.
Plus you have the independents. Okay.
Right.
So you take the top, 1 through 5 would be the winners of, the Power 5. Then you take, the American Conference, American Athletic Conference,
right.
Which would, could be Cincinnati.
Yep.
Then you take Conference USA, when we'll say it's going to be
UCF.
See, are they in that?
I thought they were in Conference USA.
No, they're actually in the American Athletic Conference. So they're in with Cincinnati. So you take UCF from there. But if you look at that, Cincinnati last year was a very good team. UCF obviously hasn't lost in like 2 years.
Right.
And then Houston's putting out a good product. So there's 3 teams potentially from there.
Right.
Then we go down to Conference USA. And not so, I would say probably the 2 best teams out of there are probably North Texas and Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
One of them gets in. Then you got Notre Dame as an independent. Mid-American Conference. That's like Akron and Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. And usually it's Northern Illinois in that conference.
Right,
so you take one of them.
So let's say we did a 16-team playoff. You're saying take the conference winners of the 10 conferences.
Correct.
All the Power 5, all the other 5.
And then you have the at-large.
You have 8 at-large. So that would include the independents and everybody else that didn't win their conference, right?
Right. So that would be 6 at-large bids, basically, if we're taking the 10 conferences, and then the independents would be an at-large. So Notre Dame would always be in an at-large.
Right. And I don't see why we're not doing that. Why are we? What's the purpose?
I mean, that would generate more money. I mean, if you think about it, so let's say Alabama wins the SEC.
Yeah.
Okay. Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship game. Georgia would get in just because they're in the championship game. They'll be ranked 6, 7, 8. Who knows?
Right.
Right. Georgia matches up as an at-large against UCF, and they play in the Peach Bowl.
That would make so much money.
Oh my gosh, like ridiculous amounts of money, right?
If they played that in Atlanta, that would be, I mean, that's multi-million dollar income for NCAA and the city.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. And then you have what's the other one there besides
We'll take the ACC. You got
right.
If you got Clemson, they get in, they win the championship. And I'm trying to remember which division each teams are in, but let's say they beat out Florida State for the ACC.
They're in the same. They're both in Atlantic. So Clemson would
NC State.
They're in the Atlantic too.
Boston College.
No, Boston College is in the Atlantic.
They're all in the same conference. See, that's how much I pay attention to the ACC.
So
that's how irrelevant they are to me.
So in the Atlantic Division, you have Boston College, Clemson, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Louisville, and Florida State. In the Coastal, you have Virginia, North Carolina, Duke, Miami, Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh,
All right.
and
so
Virginia Tech.
I got it. So Clemson beats Miami in the ACC championship. All right. Then the Orange Bowl is played with Miami and not
Clemson.
The Orange Bowl. No. I'm saying in the playoffs. Let's say then Miami matches up with
we'll say
Auburn.
Yeah,
and they meet at a neutral site somewhere. Or actually, let's say Miami matches up with Notre Dame.
Right.
How much money would that make?
Yep.
Put them in the Liberty Bowl or something. I don't care. But I think the whole point of my entire conversation was this 4-team playoff thing has given an unfair, even though I'm a Georgia fan, it's given an unfair advantage in the recruiting for Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and who was the other one? Georgia, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Alabama. Who's the 6th one? Dude, my brain's freezing up.
I mean, did you say Ohio State? Michigan. Yeah. Michigan would be another one.
Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Clemson, Alabama. Michigan. No, I don't know. But it's given an unfair advantage to that group of teams.
Notre Dame.
Maybe. But either way, if you're not in that conversation and you're going after a 5-star in Hawaii, if you're Texas Tech or you're Alabama and Georgia or Clemson or somebody else and you're a 5-star, Texas Tech's a great place. They got great football program. But why would you pick them over a team you think might be in the playoff system next year?
Unless you're a quarterback that loves to throw it.
Unless you're coming as a quarterback that would be behind, what's his name for Clemson? Lawrence.
Yeah, right.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Georgia's had that problem the last couple of years. How many 5-stars have transferred out of Georgia in the last 3 years?
Right.
And that's a whole nother subject, the transfer issue. I mean, Georgia had 2 5-stars in Fields and Eason play this past weekend and play phenomenally.
Yeah.
They used to be Georgia recruits, but I don't know. I think that the whole point of it is, I think the playoff system needs to be expanded to be fair to all the other teams.
I agree.
Georgia Tech doesn't have a shot at recruiting a player that is also being recruited by Clemson. Doesn't happen.
Or Georgia.
Or Georgia. It's not going to happen.
Or Georgia State at this point.
Yeah. Or Georgia State. That's right. Georgia State put the beat down on them.
So I'm looking at the because going back to your conversation about what conference is the best, right?
Right.
The Big 12, assuming that Oklahoma will take care of business tonight,
okay,
did not lose any game this weekend.
The Big 12 won every game this weekend.
Assuming Oklahoma takes care of business. Yep.
Did they play any Power 5 teams, though?
No. I mean, they didn't play anybody big. Texas played Louisiana Tech. TCU played Arkansas Pine Bluff. Kansas actually won, and Les Miles is the head coach there, so he got his first win as Kansas Jayhawk head coach.
Right.
Iowa State had the barn burner triple overtime against who was that against? That was such a great game. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see it.
Northern Iowa, that's who it was. So Northern Iowa, who is actually they're a pretty good team. I believe they're in the same conference as North Dakota State.
Okay.
And they go triple overtime, toe to toe. They kick a field goal in the third overtime. Okay.
Yeah.
It's third down. And Iowa State is on their, I want to say it's like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, something like that. They're inside the 5. But they have enough room to get a first down.
Wait.
Iowa State runs the ball. They stop him. They stop him short of the first down, but he fumbles, and their quarterback picks it up far enough across the first down marker to get a first down, and the next play they run it in for a touchdown.
In the third overtime.
In the third overtime. I was like, no way. They stopped. Not only did they stop him, but they got him to cough it up. And then their quarterback recovers the fumble for a first down.
You want to talk? That's insane. But you want to talk about a crazy finish? The Auburn-Oregon game last night was insane.
That was a good one.
The way that game finished was so stupid or crazy. I mean, not stupid in a bad way, like stupid in an awesome way.
Yeah.
Bo Nix just cemented himself as, the franchise QB. Started off really, 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 really slow. Really slow.
Yes, he did.
But the way that game finished was nuts. It was correct me if I'm wrong. No, I'm trying to remember. I watched so many games yesterday. He took them down. He had like 20-something seconds. Made a long pass for a completion for first down, and then they scored with like 6 seconds left. Right? It was stupid.
Yeah. I mean, there was some time left because on the kickoff they ran it back. Oregon ran it back to, I want to say it was like the 45.
Okay, maybe
Auburn.
there was a little more time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But Auburn also got a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because the receiver spiked it, but I thought that was a lame flag because it wasn't like he did an NFL spike where, like a Gronk smash or anything like that. He just kind of just threw it down, because he made a great play, and then they flagged him for it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Speaking of which, Auburn was our pick for that game. And
yes.
They covered. They were plus 3.5. They won by 6. So we got that one right.
Good. There we go.
But I do think Bo Nix has entered himself into
the folklore
of Auburn folklore already.
So there was a picture of him a couple years ago when they won the title over Oregon.
Okay.
There's a picture of Bo Nix. He must have been like, I don't know, 12, in the stands, right next to one of their players who did basically a Lambeau leap into the stands after a touchdown after the title.
I haven't seen that. We'll have to find that and put that on the website.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'll see if I screenshotted it. I may have.
So it was an exciting weekend in college football. What was your biggest upset? Anything surprise you?
I mean, obviously the Georgia State one. I was really hoping Northern Iowa was going to pull that one out. As a lack of better terms, because of where I'm living, a Big 12 fan, and then I got bloodlines running through Kansas as well, and then being a TCU fan since they're the local one. I don't like Iowa State, so I was really hoping that Northern Iowa would beat them.
I just like the way you said it. I don't like I don't like Iowa State. Sorry.
No, I think my dislike for Iowa State, I think, has been through basketball because Kansas always struggles with them. So I'm like, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason other than there's got to be somebody in that conference that I don't like, and it just happens to be them.
And I don't like their uniforms. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they're kind of blah, but
I don't like them. I was kind of shocked to see North Carolina beat South Carolina, especially since I live in South Carolina and I'm surrounded by Clemson fans who hate South Carolina, and there's a sprinkling of South Carolina fans where I live, and all my Clemson fans, all my Clemson fan buddies, I should say, they all just got the biggest kick out of that. And I do have a good friend in Florida. Her name's Jada, big North Carolina fan. I'm sure she's having a great weekend, but North Carolina, seriously, it's like the ugly redheaded stepchild of the, ACC conference.
Yeah, but they're kind of weird too, because sometimes they'll be good and then sometimes they'll be really bad.
Yeah.
As far as football goes. I mean, and I'm not saying like really good, like, threatening the national title, but they might get into a bowl game here and there. But, but Mac Brown is his
he's a good coach
at North Carolina.
And he's a good coach.
So who's to say? I mean, let's see how long he sticks around there, and I mean, who's to say his recruiting? Who knows? I don't know. Once he left Texas kind of fell apart. So,
well, I can tell you this: I haven't seen anything on Facebook today from any of my local friends who are South Carolina fans. Like, they've just ghosted Facebook. They're not on there at all.
They're hiding.
It was a great week, and then like I said, we got the game tonight. I'm gonna watch that.
And then Notre Dame, Louisville Monday.
But let's move on to baseball. What happened today?
Yes, sir.
What happened today in baseball?
Well, Mr. Justin Verlander he threw his third career no-hitter with 14 punch-outs and one walk. That is. So there have been, and I'm going to ask you this question.
Sure.
Question to the listeners, a little trivia here. There have been 6 pitchers in history with 3 or more career no-hitters.
You want me to guess who they are?
Verlander included.
Okay.
Give me three others. I will be a little bit generous here. Give me three out of the six, other than Verlander.
Nolan Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
Randy Johnson.
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Sandy Koufax.
Yes.
Okay. Whitey Ford.
No.
Crap.
So the
Who
six
did I miss?
old guys, old guys. So
Okay.
there's six pitchers total in Major League Baseball history with three or more career no hitters. Cy Young,
Okay, that makes sense.
Bob Feller,
Never would have thought of that one.
Larry Corcoran,
Never would have thought of that one.
Verlander,
Okay.
Sandy Koufax with four,
Okay.
and Nolan Ryan with seven.
Wow. What's the guy? What's the what's the guy's name? Corklander?
Corcoran,
Corcoran. Cochran.
Larry Corcoran.
Cochran.
Yeah,
How you spell it?
Corcoran.
Oh, you're probably right. Corcoran. I never heard of that guy. When did he play?
Yeah, looked like it was like in the 1800s.
Oh, that didn't even count.
Yeah,
They,
it's
they
like
didn't they didn't have
it,
smartphones back then, so come
yeah,
on.
no, it's super old, like to the point where he's wearing a tie for his uniform with
Wow, so
the
Ra-
stove top hat. So
Randy Johnson
I think
threw
he
a
only
perfect
had two.
game, but he only had
Yeah,
two no hitters.
I think so.
Wow.
So on top of this, on top of him joining the Elite Six, Verlander is the first pitcher ever to throw two no hitters in the same road stadium in Rogers Center in Toronto.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, so he did it in Detroit, and then he did it in Houston. Well, he's with Houston,
That
but
is awesome.
no other pitcher has thrown two.
And he did that against a very good Toronto lineup.
Yep,
That's a good lineup.
yep.
That's awesome. Good for him. I wonder, that's got to cement him into Hall of Fame, right?
Oh, I 100%. So here's another kicker too. In the last 40 years, there's been six pitchers who have thrown a no hitter and had 14 plus strikeouts in the last 40 years.
Wow. Holy crap.
Verlander today,
Okay.
Max Scherzer in 2015. He had
Okay.
17 strikeouts in that one. Clayton Kershaw in 2014. He had 15. Matt Cain in 2012. He had 14. Nolan Ryan in 91. He had 16. And Nolan Ryan in 1990. And he had 14.
Wow. That's awesome. I can't imagine that feeling. I threw a bunch of no hitters in high school, but it wasn't even that big a deal. It was like, oh, okay, no hitter. But in front of millions, in front of, 30 to 50,000 people in person, and then millions of people on TV, that's
Yeah.
got to be insane.
Yeah. I never got close to one.
Ever? At any
I
level?
don't. With me on the mound now.
Yeah. I threw 9 in high school.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
I threw
I
three
had
perfect games in high school.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but I mean, we were in a private school division. It wasn't like I wasn't playing the state of Georgia's best competition, you know.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it was crazy. I threw a no-hitter and hit 3 home runs in a game. 2 of them left-handed and 1 right-handed.
Say
But
that again.
I threw a no-hitter in one game, and in the same game hit 3 home runs, 2 left-handed and 1 right-handed.
So you switch hit.
I did. I was a switch hitter. My senior year, I think I hit 12 home runs left-handed and 3 right-handed.
Okay.
But like I said, we weren't playing the best competition.
Yeah. You still got to do it though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And you know what? None of that compares to the thrill of watching my son play sports. None of it compares. None.
I agree.
I mean, I asked my son, Friday night after the game, I said, dude, were you nervous?
No.
He said, no, listen. He said, Dad, I thought I was going to throw up. I said, what do you mean? He goes, they took us to a restaurant between when we first got there. No, they took him to a church, and the church fed them spaghetti and a bunch of other stuff. And he said, Dad, I got the game, and I was so nervous. He said, I'm standing on the football field for the first kickoff, and I thought, I'm going to throw up. He said, I don't know how I didn't do it, but I didn't. He said, but once that foot hit the ball,
it went away.
It all disappeared. He said it was just back to football. He said, but for 4 hours before the game, he thought he was going to vomit everywhere.
Did you tell him that Eminem sings a song about that?
No. What song is that?
8 Mile.
Oh, that's right. I need to let him check that out.
Vomit on his sweater, mom's spaghetti.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. He knows that song. He shouldn't know that song, but he knows that song.
That one's actually pretty clean, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw the movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But anyway, all right. What else? You got anything else before we go?
I got a couple random things. So I was watching this morning with my father-in-law. I was watching Golf Channel.
Okay.
They had a 5-man playoff for the European Masters.
A 5-man playoff.
5-man playoff. They're all tied at 14 under. So Rory was the biggest name in the 5.
Okay.
And the guy that won it is from Sweden, but he played his college golf at Coastal Carolina.
Really?
And in turn, because he won this, he now got his exempt status for the rest of the year. Or for 2 years, till 2021.
So he's automatically in that tournament for the next 2 years?
Correct.
That's nice.
Yep. So, and he was the only one that birdied 18 in the playoff hole. Everybody else parred it. And he was paired the entire final round with Rory. And he ended up going on a 4-hole birdie streak. And he had like 2 or 3 holes where he could have put it away, but he ended up parring, or he actually had a 3-putt and doubled bogey 1, I believe, but still managed to hold on and get to that point. But
if I'd have had it to do over again, I'd have been a pro golfer.
Right.
Not that I was good at it. I was okay.
Yeah.
But I like that lifestyle. You only play on the weekend. You only play on the weekends. You start on Wednesday?
Well, I mean, Tuesday or Wednesday would be your warm-up round, but yeah, it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
You don't have to rely on anybody else. You don't have a coach, in your ear all the time. You're in control of your own destiny.
Correct.
If you score good, you get paid good.
Yep.
If I could do it over again, I'd probably do that. And you don't ever have to run any foul poles, ever.
That's true.
I mean, look at John Daly. When's the last time you think he ran a foul pole?
He might, if there was a keg there, he would have.
A cake or a beer or a cigar.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah. So what else you got?
The last one was Coco, the tennis player. I forget her last name.
Yeah, I caught just a little bit today on ESPN. Something going on with her.
Yeah, she what's her last name? I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't. That's not being nice to her.
I think she'll survive.
Anyway, she's playing Osaka.
Yeah.
And
Coco Gauff,
that's it. So she's playing the number 1 seed, Osaka.
Yeah.
Number 1 player in the world. Osaka beat her in straight sets. And, she was shaken. I mean, she's 15 years old.
Which is insane.
Right. And so Osaka went over after and consoled her a little bit and said, "Hey, let's go do an interview together." And Coco's like, "I don't think I can. I'm going to be crying." And she goes, "No." She goes, "These people are here for you.
Oh,
Tell them
wow.
how you feel, and let them see you cry. It's okay because you're passionate, and let them see it." She goes, "It's better than going in the locker room and crying in the shower." And then
Right.
so Coco's like, "Okay, we'll go do it." And so they went off and did their interview together. I
Okay.
thought that was actually pretty cool.
Did you watch the interview?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't
After
see
all that, you didn't go watch the
it.
interview?
No, I just saw that section. I didn't right before we got on. I just saw that and I was like,
That's
oh.
cool. That
But
is
yeah,
cool, though.
that was
That is cool. I'll tell you this. My kids do not want to play tennis. And
too
I'll
much
tell
fun.
you why. Because I'm trying to remember what season. I'm always taking them up to practice because they're homeschooled.
Hmm.
Always got to drive them over to the high school. The tennis players in the summertime, because they're not in school, and it's got to be in the summertime. They are there first thing in the morning, and they are there last thing in the evening. I swear they're
Yeah.
practicing tennis 8 hours a day.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I remember my son looking at me, and my daughter too, and one of them going,
Nope.
"I will never play tennis. They've been here since this morning." Out in the middle of the heat, no shade, no cover, no nothing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
tennis. But my daughter said tennis is actually fun. I just don't want to play it for the school. And I was like, okay. She's a basketball fanatic, dude. I mean, she wants to play. She doesn't really have any aspirations for college. She just wants to play basketball every day of the week. So
Okay.
we let her. She signed up for a fall league. Thank you, Jesus, that it plays at one place. We don't have to travel. Just
Perfect.
play at one place, 5 minutes down the road. And she's pretty good. Actually, my son might listen to this podcast later and he'll laugh at me, but she's probably twice the athlete he is. And
Uh-oh.
and he started on varsity Friday night for football.
Yeah.
But the school loves her at basketball. But anyway, so what you got any plans for tomorrow? What you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's not a good Labor
No.
Day.
No. I'll work on one of my drawings I'm doing, but tomorrow, yeah, I don't think a whole lot. I don't know.
All right, well,
There is discussion about decorating for Halloween, so that could possibly be what we're
already?
doing. Right?
Yeah, y'all are those people, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Do you decorate for Christmas the day after Halloween?
No, we actually wait until
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yes, and then we will take it all down on New Year's Day. So yeah, no, we don't.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm 100% anti-decorating.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, mainly because our attic is about 180 degrees, so it's
And
just brutal
everything's
getting
up
boxes
there
out of
and
there. Yeah,
yeah. My wife likes it, my kids like it, and I'm like, "All right, hey, look, y'all can decorate for whatever you want. Y'all can decorate for, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa. I don't care. I'm not putting anything up or taking it down." So
correct.
they'll do it, and they're pretty good. Paige's family is very stringent on the way they decorate. Like, it goes up on a certain date, and on Christmas Day, they take Christmas decorations down. So, dude, we wake up, we open gifts in Mississippi. That's where we spend Christmas. And then after we open gifts, we eat, hang out, and then afternoon, they take everything down. Christmas is over, boom, gone. So
That's funny.
it is funny. I just told them, I was like, it makes no sense. I put it up, then I got to take it down. Nobody really cares, you know. But they like it, so I let them do
You
it.
gotta
I'm
do
just
it.
telling them.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
just
do it.
tell them
I
I'm
know.
watching football. Y'all can
Yep,
go hang Christmas lights if you want to. I ain't coming.
exactly.
I'll come in the garage. I'll tell you where the staple gun is. That's about the extent of my help on that.
Yeah,
But
just don't staple your flannel sleeve to the siding of the
that's
house.
right. All right, well,
pulled off, fall off the ladder. Good old Christmas vacation.
tomorrow I got a nice little Will Ferrell day going on.
There you go.
I got a couple things I got to pick up at Lowe's, and then I'm going to have a barbecue with a buddy at his property, and then tomorrow is the opening day of dove season. So at noon, my son and his son are going to go hunt doves while we eat, and then we've got to take them to football practice at 3:45, and then we're coming back. We're going dove hunting until dark. So
good for you.
That's what we're doing for the weekend. But anyway, you got anything else before we go?
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, prosportstalk.live. Check us out. If you got any questions, comments, look us up on Facebook, Pro Sports Talk. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're big time. We're big time.
Yes, sir.
We're famous. We'll be there one day. But if y'all got any questions or anything you want us to cover on our podcast, make sure you reach out to us. We'll cover it. And then until then, we'll be back Wednesday live and Thursday morning with our picks of the week for college football. Sound good? All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
See ya.